Can you tell us about what happened last night?
Well, yeah, I went to that church in Charleston, and I did it.
You did what? Well, I know it's tough sometimes to say.
It's not that I don't want to say it because I don't want to make myself seem guilty. I just don't really like saying it.
On June 17, 2015, members of the Emanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Charleston went for the routine Bible study to improve their spiritual knowledge. Little did some of them know it would be their last lesson. Joining them in that Bible study was 21-year-old Dylann Roof. At the time, Roof was unemployed and living in Eastover, South Carolina, a predominantly African-American town. Everyone had reason to believe that Roof joined the Bible study to learn more about God's Word. But Roof, deep down, was a spy. At around 9:05 p.m., the Charleston police got calls of a shooting at the church, and the shooter was described as white, with sandy brown hair and around 5'9". He opened fire on a group of people inside and fled the scene. The shooting lasted around 6 minutes, and the harrowing incident was detailed by some of the survivors. 87-year-old Susie Jackson, one of the victims, asked him why he was attacking churchgoers, to which he responded, quote, "I have to do it. You rape our women and you're taking over our country, and you have to go." He reportedly said, quote, "Y'all want something to pray about? I'll give you something to pray about." One of the victim's relatives said that Roof spared one woman named Polly Shepherd, and the only reason why is so that she could tell others what happened. He said, quote, "We need someone to survive because I'm going to shoot myself and you'll be the only survivor." The only reason why he didn't shoot himself is because he ran out of ammunition. After his father ID'd him from the suspect photos, Dylann Roof was arrested the following morning in Shelby, North Carolina. Later that day, 2 FBI agents interrogated him. The following video shows some of what unfolded during the interrogation. Now, before we continue, let me thank Law and Crime Network for sharing this video on their YouTube channel. Check out the channel if you want to watch the full interrogation video.
Can you tell us about what happened last night?
Well, yeah, I went to that church in Charleston, and I did it.
You did what? Well, I know it's tough sometimes to say.
It's not that I don't want to say it because I don't want to make myself seem guilty. I just don't really like saying it.
But I know sometimes we have to face those things, the realities.
We don't want to put any words in your mouth. That's why.
Right.
That's why Agent Stansbury just was asking you what it exactly is that you did do.
Well, I killed him. Well, I guess. I don't really know. I don't know how many people or anything like that.
So did you shoot him?
Yes.
What kind of gun did you use?
A Glock 45.
Okay. Was that your gun or?
Yes, I bought it from the gun store.
Which gun store did you buy that from?
Shooter's Choice.
In West Columbia, Shooter's Choice?
Well, it's in Columbia. I'm not sure what.
West. Yeah. They got the indoor gun range there?
Yes, but I've never used it, but yes, they have one, I think.
Okay, so it's another one.
How long ago did you purchase the weapon?
It's July?
Yeah. No, it's June. It's June right now.
It's June, okay. Probably like 2 months ago.
About 2 months ago?
Yeah.
So you just turned 21, right?
Right.
So it was like, was it for your birthday or?
No, I bought it when I turned 21.
Yeah. That's right. So all right. So going back to the church, you pulled out the gun and you shot him, started shooting people, or how?
Yeah, that's it.
So do you know how many people you shot?
If I was gonna guess, 5, maybe. I'm really not sure exactly.
Well,
4, 5. I'm not sure.
Did you say anything to them before or after or during?
No, I didn't say anything to them before anything.
Before? What about after?
Well, I think during I said don't talk to me or something like that.
Like while you were shooting?
Well, they're in the middle. But I didn't really talk to them.
How long were you at the church before you actually before you pulled your weapon out? You said yourself you shot, you think, maybe 5 or so people. How long were you at the church before you decided that you were going to do that?
Well, I just went in the church, and then I sat down with them for like maybe 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
Could have been 20, it could have been 10, but I think it was probably around 15.
Were they having a meeting or something? Or?
No, this was a Bible study class.
So you knew the Bible study class was going to happen?
Yes, because I had went there before and asked them.
Okay, so you've been to the church before?
Well, not in it.
But outside and said, when do you have Bible study? Or?
Well, yeah, I just saw somebody get into their car and I asked them.
When was that?
Oh, that was probably, I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Well,
That's a while back.
right before, or when you pulled out your gun and started to shoot, or right before, did you remember what you said, or if you said anything to the people when you pulled? Because I mean,
Oh, no, I didn't.
if you suddenly pulled out a gun and I'm like,
Right, that's what I did. I didn't say anything to them before I pulled it out.
did they?
Not even one word. I didn't say anything to them.
Did they see or anybody react to you as you pulled the gun out, or were you already shooting before they knew what was happening?
I mean, they reacted after I shot.
Right, we understand
Yeah.
Right.
I guess my question, and it might have been a bad question, I was just trying to figure, if I suddenly found out a gun, but if I pulled a gun out and everybody saw it, people might start to run or whatever.
Oh, no. It was very fast. It was not like I was like, it was like quick motion.
So can you show what were you sitting down and you did it, or did you stand up, or what?
Yeah, I was sitting down the first.
Can you show me like what you did? I mean,
Yeah, it was just like,
did you like this, or just
yeah, like,
and just started shooting it
yeah.
at people? And we'll go back and I'll ask you some more questions.
See, I had it in a bag.
It was in the bag.
The bag's there. I dropped it.
You dropped the
It was
bag?
a black. Look, it was like a thing you could buy, a sporting goods thing, for military people to hook on their whatever, their vest or whatever. But I just put it in my belt, and I had all my magazines and the gun in there. When I walked in the church, this thing was right on me, in front of me, And I was like, oh my God, they're gonna see it, And obviously they did, because I mean, this thing is big, it's heavy, because it's got 7 magazines, and I put 11 bullets in each magazine. They can hold 13, but I didn't want me it to jam or anything like that. So, but anyway, it's still really heavy. Anyway, they saw it, but I just sat down because I guess they just didn't say anything, And then I was sitting there and I was like, just thinking about whether I should do it or not. And that's why I was sitting there for 15 minutes, just like, because I know I could have just walked out, because they didn't say anything to me about the thing on my belt. So I could have walked out, and that's what I was just thinking, But then I just, I don't know, it's like, you want to say spur of the moment, but I just finally decided I had to do it.
Roof answered the questions as if killing 6 women and 3 men was not a big deal. It seemed his cold-hearted nature started many years before he decided to commit this mass murder. According to the 2009 affidavit filed during Roof's parents' divorce, he exhibited quote-unquote obsessive-compulsive behavior as he grew up. He often obsessed over germs and insisted on cutting his hair in a specific style. His maternal uncle, Carson Cowles, said that when Roof was 19, he expressed concern about Roof's social withdrawal because, quote, he still didn't have a job, a driver's license, or anything like that, and he just stayed in his room a lot of the time. His uncle tried to mentor him, but Roof rejected him and they drifted apart. Before this mass murder, Roof lived with an old friend and his family. During those times, he spent his time using drugs and getting drunk. He also quit his landscaping job. So, based on his disturbing past, it is understandable why he answered the FBI's agents' questions as if his mass murder was not a big deal.
Well, that goes to the next question. Why did you have to do it?
Oh, I had to do it.
How come? I mean, that's what I don't know.
Well, I had to do it because somebody had to do something. Because, black people are killing white people every day on the streets. And they rape white women, 100 white women a day. That's an FBI statistic from 2005. That's 10 years ago. It might even be more now, who knows. It sounds unrealistic, but you break it down, that's 2 a state. It's really not unrealistic at all. It could probably be more. The fact of the matter is, what I did is so minuscule to what they're doing to white people every day, all the time. And just because that doesn't get on the news doesn't mean it's not happening. Everybody knows that the news is biased for black people. We can pretend it's not, but we know it is.
Dylan, when you said you had to do this, so basically what you're...
I had to do it because nobody else is going to do it. Nobody else is brave enough to do anything about it, Back in the late 80s and the early 90s, we had skinheads and stuff like that. There's no skinheads left. There's no KKK. KKK never did anything anyway.
So basically you were trying to make a statement or prove a point on behalf of the white race, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, in a way, I guess.
Did somebody help? Did you talk to people or anybody in particular about this prior to making this decision to do this?
No.
So you came about this decision solely by yourself.
Right.
Did you? What's the reason why you? Because you said you'd never been in that church before.
Right.
But you said as you were driving by once, and correct me if I'm wrong, you saw somebody getting into the car, so you asked.
Oh yeah, I was walking.
Okay, you were walking, and you saw somebody getting into a car, so you asked about Bible study. Is that correct?
No, I just asked them. I said, "When is the church service?" And then she told me the church service and the Bible study or something like that. The times. Or something, I guess.
Was that an African American woman or a white woman?
Yes. Well, this is African Methodist Episcopal. Is that what AME stands for? I think that's what it stands for. I'm not really
So
sure.
that's why you went
Is that
to
why you chose
church.
that church?
Oh, yes.
Because you were looking for African Americans.
Right. I wasn't going to go to another church, because there could have been white people there.
So you didn't want to kill any white people, or she didn't.
Oh, no.
You just wanted to black people.
Oh, right.
And what was the reason why? Because if you lived with your dad's for a while and you stayed at your mom's for a while. What was the reason why you chose Charleston as your location? Why that particular area there?
Well, the reason I chose Charleston is because I like Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice down there. And it's a historic city. At one time, I think it had the highest ratio of black people to white people in the whole country when we had slavery. But and then the other reason is just because that AME church was historic too. It was an historic AME church. I guess that's pretty much the reason.
Well, how did you find out about that AME church in Charleston? Did you research it?
Yeah, I just looked up black churches.
On the internet?
Yeah.
Where'd you do that at?
There's a website called SCI Way, like SCIway.net. And it's got a bunch of stuff about South Carolina.
Okay. So you went on the internet to find black churches, and you knew South Charleston had a high black population, and it was
Well, I could have done it in Columbia too. There's black churches in Columbia. It's just, I don't know. I just wanted to go to Charleston, I guess. I don't really know.
But that church, the fact that church was a historical church, had been around a long time.
Right.
That was good. I guess what I'm asking is, were you trying to make sure you were sending a message out? You wanted to send a message.
Right.
You wanted people to know, hey,
yeah,
I got to stop this, or what? Right? That was your message.
And that one's right by downtown, right by King Street.
When the agents asked why he decided to commit the mass murder, Roof confidently answered that, quote, somebody had to do something, which reveals his intent was a hate crime, plus a clear violation of Title 18, Section 249 of the U.S. Code. He later confessed that he committed the shooting hoping to ignite a race war. As we mentioned earlier, he's a white supremacist, and the U.S. Supreme Court has been somewhat lenient concerning the activities of white supremacists due to the protections of the First Amendment. One example of their leniency was seen in the case of Brandenburg versus Ohio in 1969, where the Supreme Court held that Brandenburg's anti-black, anti-Semitic, and anti-government comments were protected speech under the First Amendment, and that the government cannot punish inflammatory speech unless the speech is, quote, directed to inciting or producing imminent lawless action and is likely to incite or produce such action. Roof was not a member of the church, but he chose that specific church for one particular reason.
When you first walked in and they were having a Bible study, did anybody even acknowledge you or say anything or say,
Yeah, they gave me a sheet.
So they welcomed you. These people did.
Right, but I didn't. Like I said, I didn't say anything to them. They just handed me the sheet, pretty much. There wasn't that many people there. There was only like 8 people there.
So when you walked in, there were 8 people. Was it in the main sanctuary? Was it in what do you recall when you walked in? There were 8 people. Where were they all positioned? Were they
just around like tables?
Around tables?
Yeah, it wasn't in a sanctuary.
Okay, so it was around tables. And where did you position yourself? Were you in front of them, in the midst of them? Were you in back of them, to the side of them? Do you recall?
Well, there's like a table here and a table here, and I was sitting like here. most of the other people were over here.
Can you draw that out for me? Would you mind doing that?
I can if you want.
Yeah, just so I have a better understanding. Just like when you walked in, just show me like where the tables were and.
Doors right here.
Okay. If you can do like little circles to indicate where the people were, through the best of your recollection.
There's, like I said, most of the people were like over here.
Uh-huh.
You know, or maybe like this. And then, but I was at this table.
So put an X where you were. Was there anybody else at that table with you?
No.
Okay.
This is, that's pretty, I mean, I don't know, that's probably not 126. I don't know.
Sure.
That's probably not the right number, but I'm just trying to give you an idea.
Right.
But this is the door.
So you walked in, and you
Right,
said
and I was walked over here, and they gave me a sheet.
little sheet, and you said you put your bag down on the ground. Is that what you said?
Oh, no.
Or you had the bag on you?
Yeah, the bag was on me.
Okay.
I dropped the bag afterwards, like as I was leaving.
I got you.
So you had the bag on you. It's about when you finally thought, no, I've got to do this. I've got to, you came here to do it, and you told yourself you had a thought. You had a thought about leaving, right?
Yes, I did.
But then you said, no, I'm here. I got to do it.
Right.
And so you pulled your gun out of the bag. How many magazines did you have in your bag?
8.
Yeah, 8.
But one was in the gun.
Yeah, so
7 in the bag.
7 in the bag. Okay. So how many times did you reload?
All the time.
So you went through all 8 magazines?
Yes. No. Actually, no. I went through 7 magazines, and I took 1 magazine with me, which is still in the gun.
And where's the gun at now?
Well, it wasn't my car when they arrested me.
When they arrested, so the gun.
And I told them about it.
And it's got the one loaded magazine. So you shot through. You had essentially, I said you put like 10 or 11 bullets in each magazine. So,
Right.
So the gun wouldn't malfunction with misfeed or whatever, right?
Right.
And so you reloaded, you shot and reloaded 7 times, or am I right? One of the magazine, reloaded, yeah, because the last one you took with you. You shot
Right.
one that was in there, shot it. Went through 6 more magazines shooting, and then reloaded. Did you? So, but by that time, I mean, people that were already down, did you walk up and shoot them that had already, went to the fellows
See,
down?
it was sort of complicated because they were all like under the tables. You see what I'm saying? It's not like I was like, going around shooting people that were already dead or anything like that. It's just when I shot a magazine, it's like I just went pop, 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 pop. You see what I'm saying? Like at one person. You see what I'm saying?
So when you started shooting, I guess you say you were so quick shooting, it was like maybe they didn't even see where it was coming from.
Right. Well, the first shots.
And they all dove under the table.
Right. Everybody knew about it.
Everybody did.
Yes.
And then you went around the tables just shooting them.
No, not exactly. Because there's some people that I didn't shoot. I think there was 2 people that I didn't even shoot at all. Like one woman was over here, and I didn't even shoot her at all. Because she was like looking at me and stuff.
So you didn't shoot that one woman because she was looking at you. but I understand it's hard to shoot somebody when they're looking at you, right? I mean, it is.
It's hard to shoot somebody anyway.
Right. But the other people, so were they shooting them in the back or just wherever they were, however they were?
Right, just however they were laying, I guess.
Like multiple times. So the first magazine, if I'm getting right, you pull out, you just start shooting. You go through that very quick. Everybody dives under the table.
Right.
You then reload the magazine. Do you just get up and start going around? There's people under the table just shooting.
Yeah, but I was sort of pacing around, because I was like freaking out a little bit too. You know what I mean? It's not. There was pauses in between, and I was thinking about, what I should do and stuff. But I guess in a way, you could say that's what I was doing.
But did anybody try and run, or did it all under the table?
See, I thought everybody was going to try to run out the door, but nobody did. They all went under the table.
And nobody charged you to try and stop you.
No.
And we'll come back more. But so you go through the one woman you didn't shoot at all. She looked at you, and then there was another person you said you didn't shoot at all. Was that a woman or a man or?
Yeah, I think it was a woman.
Did she look at you too, or?
No, she wasn't looking.
Why didn't you shoot?
I mean, she might have got shot. I'm not saying she didn't get shot, but I'm saying I didn't aim at her and shoot.
Okay. Was there a reason why you didn't aim at her and shoot?
No, I can't really say a reason.
Okay, so after you shoot, do you leave all your magazines laying on the ground?
Yes.
Except for you put a fresh one in, so your 8th magazine you load.
Right.
So you leave the bag there, you've got the gun. What do you do next?
Well, then I leave.
Right. Well, I mean, but you go out the door and
The same door I came.
Okay, and where did you go to? I mean, where's your car?
Back to my car.
And where had you parked at?
Right by the door.
Just out on the street, or is there a parking lot?
Literally right by the store. See the parking space.
So this is a street parking right out here.
No. They've got a gate, and then they've got parking spaces.
So you went into the gate and parked?
Yes.
And then got out, parked by the door, walked in, and walked out. Would you mind initialing this and write the word door right there?
Initialing this?
Well, this so it's yours, so later you can say, yeah, that's me. Just write the word door right there.
You'd write initial, like right above where you were
I
sitting.
don't know if I said initial.
That's fine. That's okay. You don't have to.
He confessed to having just searched the internet for black churches in the area and decided to choose the Emanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church. When he got to the church on that fateful day, the members did not discriminate against him for being white or a newcomer. Instead, they happily welcomed him to join their Bible study. Roof's intent to kill the religious members and disrupt their religious activities is in clear violation of Title 18, Section 247 of the U.S. Code. Roof later revealed his intent to use up all 8 magazines, 7 for the church members and 1 for himself.
But anyway, so you go and you get your car and you get and leave. So where do you go?
To be honest, I was in absolute awe that there was nobody out there after I had shot that many bullets. I was like, oh my God, what are these cops doing? They're not even really doing their job. If you hear how many shots, I don't know how many shots that was, 77. There's not even a cop outside, so obviously when I walked out that door, I peeked out the door. So I thought there was going to be somebody there ready to shoot me, you know what I'm saying? So, that's really why I had the last magazine, is not to shoot cops, it's so I could shoot myself. You see what I'm saying? When I saw a cop.
So if the law enforcement would have showed up, you were going to go ahead and just...
Yeah, I wasn't going to ever shoot at a cop. I was going to shoot myself. But anyway, like I said, there was no cop, so I just got in my car and then I just drove out of Charleston, onto the interstate.
To 26? Like the interstate going back to Columbia?
I would think it was in that direction, but I didn't go back to Columbia.
Where'd you go to?
Charlotte.
So you drove up 26 to... Did you drive up the interstate the whole way to Charlotte?
No.
Or you take the back roads?
I was taking all kinds of roads. I don't know.
What was the reason you chose to drive to Charlotte?
Well, I just didn't want to go back to Columbia, and I just... Like I said, I was still in all that I even was driving at all, even got away.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying?
sure.
So I just picked a place.
So you didn't expect to survive?
Oh, no.
He claimed to have kept the 8th magazine to shoot himself once police officers arrived. However, he was surprised when he got outside and found no police officers, so he changed his mind about committing suicide and left the place. This unfortunate event probably would not have occurred if not for the mistakes made by his friends and family. Turns out, Roof purchased the gun using money given to him by his father on his birthday. 1 week before he committed the mass murder, 2 of his friends tried to hide the gun after Roof claimed that he would kill people. Kristen Scriven, a drinking buddy of Roof, said that he thought Roof's statements were just drunken bluster. However, Scriven was concerned enough that he and another friend, Joey Meek, took Roof's .45 caliber gun and hid it in an air conditioning vent of a mobile home. They continued to hide the gun until the friend's girlfriend, in whose trailer they hid the gun, pointed out that the friend was on probation and needed to have the gun out of his possession. Scriven also revealed that Roof was usually upset about bouncing between the homes of his divorced parents. He would stay at the friend's mobile home park for days, smoking American Spirit cigarettes and drinking hard. Then he would go home for a day or two to get clothes and money. Scriven noticed that Roof was depressed and usually complained that he was not getting the love and emotional support he needed from his parents. Anytime he was upset, Roof would retreat to his car, blasting a cassette tape of opera. He further elaborates on his frustration towards the African American communities and his crazy thinking.
We'll go back to where you were, because I had some more questions getting to that point. Are these the clothes you were wearing last night? Or did you
Yes.
So
I haven't changed.
So those are the Timberland boots and the black pants. Did you have a jacket or a hoodie on or something?
Yeah. No, I had a long sleeve shirt on. Over this.
Where's that at now?
It's
in your car. Okay, so these are the clothes you wore. And essentially, we'll come back to you. So I'm just going to kind of recap. You picked the AME church out, the African American Episcopal Church. It's a historic church, been around a long time. It's a black church. You knew there'd be black people there, and probably not any white people there, right? Because you did not want to kill any white people. You went there with the intent to kill black people in retaliation for what other black people have been doing in the United States. That's why you went, right? And so, and to make a point, right? I don't know who would call it I mean, what is it to you? Is it, sometimes we use the word political or revolutionary or
Well, I guess it could be considered political.
political. So is it safe to say, you don't like black people?
I don't like what black people do.
Okay, that's fair. What black people as a race do, right? Is that what you're saying? Or in America, or the whole world, or what?
In America, in Europe, there's a whole bunch of black people in Europe doing the same things.
So what you did, I mean, this shooting was all about because they were black. It wasn't, I mean, that's why, I mean, I know because, and let me make sure I'm clear on this, you've already said, if it wouldn't have been black people in that church, you would have never walked in there and shot them. I mean, it was because of your belief, your understanding of what black people in America and the world are doing to society, the crimes and everything else, and you wanted to. It was a retaliation or a
Right. Well, obviously, I realize that these people, they're at church. They're not criminals or anything. That's not because the criminal black people kill innocent white people every day.
So what was your point then? What point were you trying to make? You said right there, these people were in church, they were innocent.
Right.
But what was the point of targeting them?
I just knew that would be a place where there would be at least a small amount of black people, in one area.
Yeah.
I thought about going to like a black festival or something like that, and they got security and stuff, and you got to wait for the date. You can't do it whenever you're ready.
So we're understanding you correctly. You specifically did your homework, obviously, because you were quoting statistics earlier. You did research, so you specifically chose an area where there would be all African Americans there. Is that correct?
Are you in any type of earlier you mentioned like the neo-Nazis?
Yeah, skinheads. I wish there were, but there aren't.
So you're not in any? Are you in any groups like that?
No.
Or I guess you have other associates or friends that are. Well, let me back up. Would you consider yourself a white supremacist? I know sometimes that's hard, but the white people are superior.
I'm a white nationalist.
A white nationalist.
Not a white supremacist.
Okay. What's your definition of the two then? Because you're saying you're not a white supremacist, you're a white nationalist. What's in your mind? What's the difference?
How about this? I do consider myself a white supremacist. Sure. If white people are superior, that's what you mean.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Right? The white race is superior to all the other races, and so you're
No, I don't think there's, like, for example, you got East Asian people, they got higher IQs than white people. I don't have a problem admitting that, it's just the facts.
So as a white supremacist, it's only to certain races?
Right, well, look, white people are superior to blacks or Hispanics, then you got white Hispanics, So,
yeah.
or Indians, Arabs, Southeast Asians, Only other races probably, about equal to white people would be like East Asians, like Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, people like that.
But as a white supremacist, do you still think the white race is superior to East Asians, even though they have a higher IQ? You said the higher IQ than Caucasians.
I think in general, yes. I mean, because we've invented a lot more stuff than them. But they're good at improving on our inventions.
Sure. But in your mind, the white race is the dominant race.
No, I don't think the white race is the dominant race. I wish it was, though. I think it should be. That's the problem.
Do you think, like, what you did last night, do you think that helps to maybe, are you trying to start a revolution to where other people say, hey, it's time to stand up, and if everybody does this? You know what, you understand what I'm saying?
I'm not delusional. I don't think, that something like what I did could start like a race war or anything like that, But
I mean, would you like that? I mean, would that help?
Yeah, well, a race war would be pretty terrible,
Yeah.
People dying all the time.
Yeah, it would.
But, I'd rather just, be able to, like, reinstate segregation or something like that, without there having to be a race war. But, there probably will be a race war eventually.
But just segregation, right? I mean, it's all.
I mean, that would be okay with me for right now, but like I said, that's sort of unrealistic. That black people aren't just going to let themselves, go back into segregation. Not that segregation was bad, it wasn't.
How long have you How long have you felt this way? I mean, I guess my question is, was there ever a time where you...
Right. Well, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
The first thing that I guess we could say, I would say that woke me up, would be the Trayvon Martin case. And that was a while back.
Right.
What was it, 2 years ago? And I kept hearing about this kid, and I'm like, eventually I decided to, look his name up, just type him into Google, you know what I'm saying? And then I read the Wikipedia article about Trayvon Martin, and I couldn't understand what the big deal was, you see what I'm saying? And then, for some reason, after I read that, I typed in, for some reason it made me type in the words black on white crime, and that was it, ever since then.
So prior to that, you really didn't think too much about black and white relations or white and black relations?
Right. Well, I mean, obviously, you live in South Carolina, there's so many black people here. Every white person in South Carolina probably has at least a little bit of racial awareness, naturally, because there's so many black people, but it's superficial, you see what I'm saying? It's no real understanding behind it.
Right. So basically, after the Trayvon Martin incident, you said it woke you up, and you did a little bit of research.
Right.
And after you researched that, and you started looking at, you said black on white crime. Is that correct?
Right.
So what happened after that? If you could just carry me through you studied that. Were there other research topics that you looked into?
Well, then I found out, like I said, what's happening in Europe. In a lot of ways, it's even worse over there than it is here. London's only 60% white. We've got so many Muslims over there in Europe. They're being swamped. There's going to be a race war in Europe, too, I bet. France, they don't even take demographics.
This is not a one-time thought. He has surprisingly given this idea a lot of thinking, and often shared with his friends and neighbors his plans to kill people, including a plot to attack the College of Charleston. But his claims were not taken seriously because his friends thought that the school had tight security. Surprisingly, despite Roof's racist comments, some of his friends in school were black. Later, investigators saw a picture of him on his Facebook page where he wore a jacket decorated with 2 obsolete flags used as emblems among American white supremacist movements. On June 20th, 2015, investigators found a website with the URL lastrhodesian.com. The website was registered to Dylann Roof on February 9th, 2015. The website also included widely recognized neo-Nazi code numbers. He was also seen spitting on and burning an American flag. Investigators also saw pictures of him visiting slavery-related historical sites in North and South Carolina. The website also contained a 2,444-word manifesto. Roof outlined his opinions in the manifesto, all methodically broken into different sections. All of this was undeniable proof of his brainwashed thinking and his intent behind the Charleston church shooting. But this wasn't Roof's first run-in with the law. Before this incident, around February of 2015, he wore all-black clothing to the Columbiana Center in Columbia. The mall security called the police after Roof asked the employees unsettling questions. During police questioning, Roof consented to be searched. During the search, the officers found several strips of Suboxone. Since he had no prescription for the drug, he was arrested for a misdemeanor charge of drug possession. He was also banned from the Columbiana Center for a year. In March of 2015, Roof was investigated for loitering in his parked car near a park in downtown Columbia. During the investigation, an officer found a forearm grip for an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle and 6 unloaded magazines, all capable of holding 40 rounds. When asked about it, Roof told the officer that he wanted to purchase an AR-15, but he did not have enough money. He was not charged, since possessing a forearm grip is not illegal in South Carolina. On April 26, 2015, Roof was arrested for trespassing on the Columbiana Center Mall's grounds in violation of his previous ban. The ban was then extended for 3 additional years. FBI analysis of Roof's seized cell phone and computer revealed that he had been communicating with other white supremacists. In September of 2015, it was announced that Roof would face capital punishment in his state prosecution. In May of 2016, the U.S. Department of Justice announced that Roof would also face capital punishment in his federal prosecution. With that, Roof became the first person in U.S. history to face both the state and the federal death penalty at the same time. On January 11, 2017, he was sentenced to death for those crimes. On March 31, 2017, Roof agreed to plead guilty to South Carolina State Court to all state charges to avoid a second death sentence. Due to that, he was given a sentence of life in prison without parole. In April of 2017, he was sentenced to 9 consecutive sentences of life without parole after formally pleading guilty to all state murder charges. On July 10, 2015, it was reported that FBI Director James Comey said that Roof, quote, was able to purchase the gun used in the attack only because of lapses in the FBI's background check system. This led to lawsuits filed by the families of the victims who claimed that the FBI, which had a duty to perform background checks on handgun buyers, was negligent when the agency performed a background check on Roof, who had just turned 21 at the time. Under federal law, gun buyers must undergo a computer background check at the federally licensed firearm dealer. Roof was able to buy a gun because of a loophole in Charleston law. Under that law, gun sellers can sell firearms to a buyer after 3 days, regardless of whether the FBI's background check has been completed. Normally, if the FBI found that the buyer was facing criminal charges, the gun store must deny the buyer that purchase. Since Roof was already known as a narcotic user, the FBI should have discovered that in its search of police databases. Since the FBI didn't pick up on Roof's record after 3 days, the gun store sold Roof the gun. That serious error means that the federal government was actually culpable in this mass murder. So, on August 30th, 2019, the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the survivors and families of the deceased could sue the federal government, after a lower court had previously claimed that the federal government had immunity. On October 28, 2021, attorney Carl Pierce confirmed that the federal government would pay $88 million as a settlement to all the families affected. There is no iota of doubt that this madman and his horrific beliefs led to South Carolina's deadliest shooting, but we can't deny the system's broken structure, which apparently gave this 21-year-old the right to bear arms. With a system like this, every extremist will weaponize their opinions and cause chaotic destruction. But we're glad to see that the good folks of Charleston Church never resorted to chaotic violence the way that Dylann Roof did. For now, we're just glad that Dylann is behind bars, where all white supremacists belong. Thanks for watching.